Howdy y'all, you've tuned in to Busmaster 99 and today I'm going to talk about the 5 things you shouldn't do if you drive a manual transmission car. And most of this has to do with the improper usage of the clutch pedal. But let's get right into it, shall we? So number 1, and this seems obvious to most, you don't want to ride the clutch. So you push the clutch in, engage first gear, and then gradually bring it up, but don't rest your foot on it. Because when that happens, you're basically slipping the clutch, because the clutch wants to be fully engaged once you're in gear and up to speed. So what you're doing is you're causing premature wear on the clutch disc and the bearings within it, and you're going to end up replacing your clutch a lot sooner than you think. Number 2, don't coast to a stop with your foot on the clutch. So a lot of people do this. They leave their transmission in gear, come to a stop with their foot on the clutch. They think it's okay, but what you're doing is you're putting pressure on your throwout bearings. The clutch is not made to be held down for a prolonged period of time. So instead, what you should do is push the clutch in all the way, put the transmission in neutral, come to a stop, and then once you're at a stop, put it back in gear and go. So you only want to use the clutch when you know you're ready to go. So you press the clutch down, put it in gear, and then go. Number 3, if you're starting on a hill, don't use the bite point of the clutch to hold the vehicle. Instead, you can either use the foot brake or the hand brake / parking brake. Now, my car has a brake hold system, so if I'm on a hill and I have the clutch pressed all the way down, there is a hill hold assist that engages for 2 seconds to allow me to get the car into gear and go. So that way I don't have to pull up on the parking brake. Number 4, don't rest your hand on the gear shifter. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this only affects the car when it's in gear. Correct me if I'm wrong. But while the car is in gear, you don't want to rest your hand on it. It isn't a hand rest. You can rest your hand on the parking brake if you so desire, but keep your hands on the wheel and only put your hand on the gear shifter when you're actually making a gear change. Because what's happening is it's putting pressure on the arms inside of the shift linkage, and then that could go out, and then the transmission might either not engage or be in gear all the time, and then that might have to be fixed. And last, but certainly not least, do not, and I repeat, do not rely solely on the transmission to hold the car in place while you're parked up or downhill. So the proper procedure is you want to come to a stop with your foot on the brake, pull up on the parking brake, turn the engine off, then select a gear. You don't want to solely rely on the gear because that will put pressure on the transmission, and then earlier maintenance might need to be done. Because keep in mind, manual transmissions require little to no maintenance, but this only applies if you treat it right. Alright, hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more. Peace out, and I look forward to seeing you on the next upload.